Well, now after just making an IKEA video a few weeks ago, I hadn't really planned on making another one already, but then they went and released their new Stockholm Collection for 2025. And guys, it's pretty darn good. So I think we're just gonna have to talk about it. Now, apparently this new collection has 96 pieces, although on the Canadian website I was only able to find 82. Only 82. Yeah, so there is a lot of new stuff. And obviously I'm not going to be able to cover them all in this video, but I am going to share all of my personal favorites. And yes, I am in Canada, so do keep in mind that these prices are all going to be in Canadian dollars. All right, are we ready? Let's get started. So there are two new sofa designs in this collection. The first being this three-seater in what I consider to be this sort of platform style that we've been seeing around lately. IKEA refers to this as an exposed frame, and this one is made from solid pine with a clear acrylic lacquer. This is the only color option, but it is this very neutral beige, and this cover is machine washable. The design does feel very Scandinavian to me, and I think it would work great in a space that's really clean and contemporary, but would also feel appropriate in an interior that is more of a mid-century modern aesthetic. The second sofa in this collection is this modular one. It's super sleek and contemporary, and I really like the clean lines. Again, similar to some trending sofas that we have been seeing in recent years. The curved lines, I think, keep it from feeling too boxy. The covers, again, are washable, this time done in a velvet, and with 4 color options, there's really something for everyone. I also appreciate the modular design of this one. It just makes for a really versatile style that can be arranged to fit a variety of different spaces. And if you are someone dealing with an awkward staircase or an elevator, you're probably going to appreciate it too. Another very Scandinavian design is this fantastic bench. It has a very similar wood frame to the first sofa, and the cushion is in fact genuine leather, which I think explains the price point. IKEA states that the cover is made of aniline leather, which is the finest type of leather of the highest quality. As it ages, it becomes softer and gets a darker tone and fine patina. So I think this is great. A piece that is really designed to last and with time is going to develop more character. This would be great in a living room or a front entry, even a bedroom at the foot of the bed. Now, almost all of the wood pieces in this collection have been done in oak veneer, and it's certainly nice, but I have to admit, I am getting maybe a little bit tired of this finish. I mean, these really light woods we've been seeing so much of in recent years, especially this like natural oak. And I don't know, I've maybe just kind of had enough of it. And that doesn't mean that I want to go back to like a super dark stained wood either. I have definitely had my fill of that, but maybe we could just see sort of, I don't know, some medium browns, like something that's still light enough that you can see the wood grain, but is a bit of a departure from all of the blonde woods that have taken over lately. But in all fairness to IKEA, I suppose they have been doing those medium browns, like their walnut finishes, that sort of a look. So maybe for them, this is a bit of a departure. But anyway, if you are interested in bringing some of this light oak into your home, then this collection is for you. There are a lot of pieces and the designs are pretty great. This is a very good coffee table, and I am generally just a fan of a round coffee table. The overall length becomes less of a concern in comparison to your sofa, and because they tend to be a bit deeper than a rectangular coffee table, they're also great if you're trying to fill more floor space. A lot of glass coffee tables consist of a piece of glass sitting on a base, so having the wood frame around this top I think is a nice little detail that looks a little higher end. And I love that the curve of the top is then repeated on the base. Here we have this oak dining table, which is available in a round and an oval option. I think this is a really good table. I love the simplicity of this. Such a simple and minimal design really gives you an opportunity to experiment with a more statement dining chair. If you are someone who hates assembling IKEA, this has a wedge dowel system for attaching the legs that looks incredibly easy and straightforward. I must also say that I quite like this dining chair that the table has been shown with. It reminds me a little bit of the Ray dining chair from Hay that I am kind of obsessed with. And what about this red chair? I can't find this one on the Canadian site, and this is a really good chair, so I hope that we end up getting this here. This glass door cabinet is a nice piece. It kind of feels like a small, modern interpretation of a china cabinet. And because it is finished on all four sides, I think it would work really nicely in an open concept space to sort of divide the living room from the dining room, like what they have done here. This item is described as a shelving unit slash bench, and I like that versatility. I also just like the design, another simple piece with that Scandinavian influence. I like what they've done here, placing it behind the sofa. I think that's a great option if your sofa is too low for a regular console table. I also think this could work really nicely below a TV, although if you prefer closed storage below your TV, there is also this TV unit with sliding doors. I'm really into the leg detail on this piece. I don't think IKEA's done anything quite like this before. This is the matching sideboard to that TV unit, and this is also a great piece, but I would advise against using both of these in the same space. I think it's going to start to look a little too matchy-matchy, and you don't want to run the rest of your home looking like an IKEA catalog. What a great little side table this is. Again, just as I love a round coffee table, I also enjoy a round end table. They work so well floating beside an armchair where a square end table could maybe feel a bit awkward. And with this one being on casters, it's also very functional. The higher sides keep items secure, making this a great little serving cart or bar cart. The design of this two-door cabinet is really good. I love the proportions with these tall legs. The light oak veneer is very nice, but I actually really like the dark brown oak finish. There's something about it that feels really sophisticated to me. I think it would make quite an elegant addition to a dining room. And then there's the green, which I think is just really bold and fun. One cabinet with three very distinct looks. And last, but certainly not least of the oak veneers, is this shelf unit. This is one of my favorite pieces in the whole collection. I love an open back shelving unit that's clean and simple. It allows whatever you place on the shelves to become more of the focus. I think multiples of this on an empty wall would have real impact. It also comes in a dark brown veneer, which is nice, but I would prefer if it was black. This is a hand-woven wool rug for $400. The pattern is really good, and I am a big fan of this color combination. Very cool. I like this rug a lot. And here's another one. Also hand-woven, also wool, also $400. This one actually reminds me a lot of this classic striped Stockholm rug that I'm sure we're all familiar with, but this one's got that little touch of green that I think just kind of freshens up the look a bit. Now I did notice that IKEA recommended these rugs for dining rooms because they said they're really easy to clean. And I don't know if I've ever actually weighed in on this topic before, but for the record, I am not a fan of an area rug under a dining table. To me, they're just really impractical. I think when you have a space that is prone to crumbs and spills, that introducing a rug doesn't make a lot of sense when chances are whatever surface is underneath that rug is tile or hardwood or something else that is sweepable and moppable. So why do that to yourself? Now, maybe if you have like a formal dining room that you don't use very often and you really want to make a bold statement with a beautiful rug, but for day-to-day use, I just don't see the point of this. But that's just me. If you guys have any strong opinions on this topic, feel free to leave me a comment. I think this is a pretty great pendant light for $70. The linen-like texture is really good. It diffuses the light really nicely, and I do like the wavy pattern. Just a good, solid option for a pendant light at a really good price. I also approve of this table lamp. I like the shape, I like the style. It comes in this patterned fabric option, which I think could be cool in the right situation, but I'm really partial to the yellow. I think this is just a great way to add a pop of rich, warm color to your space. If you aren't looking to add any big ticket items to your home at the moment, this new Stockholm Collection also has some great accessories, textiles, and some kitchen stuff as well. This is a great little cushion cover, and it's pure wool for $15. I like the shape. It's nice to do something a little different from like the typical square toss cushion. The sort of more green option is nice, but I'm really into this brown, red, pink combination. I actually think this could be great inspiration for a really interesting color scheme. These are really good glasses, available in 2 sizes. Very reasonable price point for mouth-blown glassware. I just love the shape of these with the straight sides and the rounded base. I think it's a look that feels much higher end than what it is. Okay, I am a little reluctant to show these because Adrian's gonna see this and he's probably gonna want to buy them. And I just think there are better things to be spending money on when we already have plenty of cutlery. We tried to buy black cutlery several years ago, and we just could not find anything that was both affordable and dishwasher safe, but these are. And the design is also very nice. So if you are in the market for cutlery, you might want to keep these in mind. This is a lovely vase. I like the organic shape, and I think the color is really good too. It's got kind of a vintage feel to it. An IKEA vase that doesn't scream IKEA. Such cool little candle holders. I think the design of these is really clever, the way that one side holds a tea light, but the other side holds a taper candle. I like the shape, I like both finishes. I think these are just a great little decorative accessory that would work so well in so many different spaces. Okay friends, those are all my favorite pieces from the new Stockholm Collection. Now, who's ready for a trip to IKEA? Thank you so much for watching. I hope we see you at the next one, and bye for now.